What a beautiful, beautiful God, morning, day, life this is. God's eternal presence is with us. That's it. Just meditate on that. God's eternal presence is eternally present with you, me, everyone, everything. Everlastingly. Everlastingly. Let's see if we can turn off our videos and audios, everybody, so that we have deep silence, so that everyone is more absorbed within than without. And that includes your hearing, that you're listening only from a place of loving. You know what I'm saying? That, as Yogananda once said, become a master of the moments of your life. In other words, become a master of this moment being a love moment. The eternal now loving presence wants you to respond in like kind, like the eternal loving presence itself. Your soul is made for that. It is the eternal now loving presence. So the only thing that is keeping us from that is that we still have other things that are blocking the love. As Rumi says, you don't have to seek love, just remove all the blockages of things keeping you from being a master of the moments of love. All right. So let's just tune in for a moment as we close our eyes and lift our gaze to this beautiful light, and feel in your heart the divine indweller that is going to do all the work for us, because it is us. We can do nothing on our own. And it's just lighting and sparking your heart right here, right now. A gift of gifts. Maybe you weren't ready for it, but now you are. And it's just filling your heart with every inhale breath as you sit here visualizing the beautiful God light that you are. We all are filled with a golden light. Nothing can take that away from us. It's just eclipsed. That's all. Right here, right now, just behind the eclipse is everything that you're looking for, my dears. Everything that would satisfy you completely right now. That which would give you unbelievable fearless faith and total trust that everything is perfectly all right now. It can't be any other way unless you decide to think the old way. But let's begin now just to feel that beautiful presence come in with every deep inhale breath. Each one filling us up with that God's eternal presence of infinite love. And our out breath, may it be love from your soul, love from your heart, love from your sincerity, love from your urgency right now, that the only thing that matters is this moment of eternal, now loving presence. This breath, that's all. That's all you're accountable for. And you can release all the other stressors on your life, thinking that there's something later that you might be thinking of now. Ooh, E, wally wally, bang bang, that's not good. There is no later. There is no past. There's just the eternal now loving presence. So let's spend a few breaths, whether they be the God ecstasy breath or just a few deep diaphragm breaths with your mouth closed. Let's feel that loving presence. My goodness, gosh. It is us. Don't look away from yourself. Don't look out. Don't get all caught up on the out, because this loving presence is waiting for you to love it as you. Can you imagine loving yourself, capital S, your eternal self, with all the love that and the energy that you put into your outward doings? I hope there's a lot of love put into your outward doings. But let's just really, really, really get focused on our eternal selves right now, because this means that your soul is that eternal presence. Your soul is that loving presence. God is your soul. Your soul is one with God. Yourself, your very essence self is loving presence. How could you not want to love the loving presence that you are? What a concept, right? Can you imagine pouring all your heart's love into yourself, capital S, your eternal self right now, as it pours itself into you and you pour yourself into it? Why wait? Why wait? Why wait? Why wait? Oh, my soul and spirit. Oh, my soul and spirit. When right now we can meet, when right now we can meet, when right now we can meet, when right now we can meet and melt in and melt in the ocean heart of oneness everlasting, the ocean heart of oneness everlasting. Out, out. Oh. Ah, just be grateful. Just be so grateful and appreciative right now that all of a sudden your calling in life, your purpose in life is made super clear. This moment of love. That's it. And while you're in this interior state, let me just jump jump in and share with you a daily download of Divinity called Mastering the Moments of Your Life. I think it might be apropos if you all just just feel that right now, that you are in this present moment as we've been mentioning, and that God's mercy, Divine Mother's mercy, has just removed the blockages, removed the obstacles, and you feel completely different. You feel really yourself. And there are no words to describe that. Be a master of the moments of your life, says Yogananda. Okay, I go on to say, we're going to look at love mastery, but only one moment, one breath at a time. Otherwise, you're biting off more than you can chew. When you sit to meditate, make it all about a focus on one breath at a time. After that moment is over, reset your self-awareness of love as if the new moment is the only one you care about. Find passion in caring about only one moment of God contact at a time. Forget about everything else. When you came into the world, you were helpless. When you leave the world, you'll be helpless. Love mastery is learning how to be helpless in love and dependent on God every moment in between birth and death. Zoom your consciousness back to where you were before your mother's womb. Intuit the still, loving presence that encompassed you. Zoom ahead to the time you leave this body. Intuit the same still, loving presence encompassing you. Physical life is sandwiched in between eternal, loving presence on every side. What are you worried about? It's much better to spend all your time loving the loving presence. Your job as an awakening soul is to be awake to the same omnipresent, loving presence in each moment of physical existence as you are in eternal existence. One moment spent in making heart contact with God is a moment spent to your highest advantage and will stand unto eternity. All the moments you love, Master, are waiting in the wings of oneness until you arrive. So they're all being, until you can experience them, they're all just being put in the oneness until you arrive there with your awakening. Become a moment with God collector. Start right now to hoard them. You can do it right now as you sit here. Covet every opportunity you have to engage your total heart and being on this present moment of love. You know what this stands for? The acronym for this? Because right here, right now, we're loving this. It means the Holy Infinite Spirit. The T H, Holy, I, Infinite, S, Spirit, this. That puts a whole new spin on it, doesn't it? A whole new spin. That right here, right now, we're loving this, the Holy Infinite Spirit. Oh, puts a cosmic spin, I would say, on it. At least for me, it does. So covet every opportunity you have to engage your total heart on being on this present moment of love. No moment is without ecstasy and loving presence. No, you may not be aware of it, but it's much better to be aware of it. Self-aware. Self-awareness is king and queen. Keep rapt attention because in any given moment, your heart can convince you for forever that the only thing to live for is this, the Holy Infinite Spirit, this present moment of love. Stockpile all your loving moments until your cup runneth over and you become still enough, focused enough, heart-centered enough to soulfully embrace the love that you eternally are. Wow. Become still enough, focused enough, heart-centered enough to soulfully embrace the love that you eternally are. Live for the love moment, and the love moment will live for you. Forget all past and future moments, and the past will no longer haunt you, nor the future frighten you. Spend your precious moments in physical life mastering your eternal love affair with God one moment at a time. When the sum total of love moments is large enough, a divine hand will reach down and pick you up, and you will be free. I vow to each moment of your love mastery. Let's stay right where we're at. One beautiful, mastering one moment of love at a time. That's why you're here, some of you. That's why maybe a few of you got online this morning, right? But every being on the planet is made for this. Every being on this planet is megally 100% loved as much as God could love any soul. We all are. And there's a light in us that can never blow out. They can't blow it out like a candle. It lights up. We just now need to, to want that more than anything, my dears. Anything. Or nothing can take away our focus, our longing, our willingness to love just this moment, this breath incoming of that God's eternal presence of infinite love coming in and our beautiful soul kicking in and loving that loving presence back. This is going to tie into to verse 32 and 33 coming right up this morning. We're still on chapter 10. We're still visiting all those beautiful soul qualities that we possess, also known as God's, all his or her and its infinite manifestations, right? It's all, though, it's all God's eternal presence. And we're going to link that together. Link it together. Link your life together in one focus. It's all God's eternal presence. Your worst day. What's happening that could really turn your life around today, right? Anything and everything. is still God's eternal, loving presence. Verse 32, this is page 799. Verse 32, of all manifestations, O Arjuna, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. Among all branches of knowledge, I am the wisdom of the self, capital S. And for debaters, some of you more analytical kind people, for debaters, I am discriminative logic. He says down below that it is a blessing that God has given us the power of abstract reasoning. And there's going to be a good reason for that coming right up. Now that those things, oh Arjuna, I am the beginning, middle, and end. I am the branches of all knowledge. I'm just going to stop that video there. Branches of all knowledge. In other words, I am the wisdom of the self. And I am, for debaters, anyone who likes to debate, I am discriminative logic or abstract reasoning. All right. Just a short commentary on those aspects. This is what Yogananda says. Even as the Lord is the eternal self in the transitory mortal forms of beings. What? He, God, Spirit, is your eternal self in the transitory mortal frame or form you are in of all beings. Really, do we have a problem, my dears? Why do we keep looking out? Why do we keep using our head, which takes us out? Why do we think that everything outside is more important than this present moment of love and awakening? It's a heavy delusion, and we're living under it. LUI, living under the influence of delusion. So even as the Lord is the eternal self in the transitory mortal forms of beings, bearing sole responsibility for you. Are you responsible for yourself? No, only to respond to the one who is responsible for you. To be first responder to the one who is responsible for you. That's your responsibility. But to think that you're carrying some kind of load or burden, or you have some kind of a purpose to fulfill here, besides you being who you really are and letting God express 100% through you, that's what we need on the planet right now. We need people who are so humble that they become a conduit for God's amazing power, light, love, peace, joy, and happiness. That's what we need here, but not someone who thinks that they're doing something. It's impossible. Of my own self, I can do nothing, Lord Krishna says in the Gita, that he wants us all to remember. Of your own self, you can do nothing. So the Lord, as the eternal self in all of us, bears the sole responsibility for our comings and goings. Boy, we've had a lot. Can you imagine a consciousness that knows everyone's coming and goings of all the life on the physical side of things, and then in the inner worlds, and he knows every detail of every being that, or any animal and every fish that ever was created? Can you imagine that consciousness? And we're going to spend our consciousness on, frittering away our potential in this life again, being too busy for these outer things. No, be too busy for this moment of most radical reciprocation of this infinite love coming in, and your response to that as the most love you can will in your heart center to give back. There it is. That will take care of it right there. So, just as he is responsible for our comings and goings, so does he create, uphold, and call back to himself. Okay, so there it is. There's Brahma, creator, there is Vishnu, preserver, and there is Shiva, destroyer. So he's all those things. He creates, he upholds, and calls back to himself. And this is a good definition if you want to just kind of play with your own consciousness and not get too caught up in this bit part you're playing as a human being with a certain name and a certain classification and what you do and a plaque on your wall. And wow, I even have a family to show that I'm really doing something on this planet, right? I'm good to my kids and I'm good to my dogs and I'm good to my neighbors sometimes, whatever. But here it is. He creates, upholds, calls back himself, all objectified dream images of his consciousness. So you can you can say now, when you get kind of full of yourself, the little self, that I am just an objectified dream image of God's consciousness, an objectified image of his consciousness. Good news, good news. It's his consciousness that's holding you up. Always has, always will. Gosh, if anyone is interested in a NDE experience, one of the best that I've seen. Last night I saw it. A guy got, it was a climber and doing an ice climb and got, uh, had a beautiful experience. After he got, freezing cold and he got hot, take off his jacket, all the symptoms of hypothermia. Oh my God, what an experience. So just text me and I'll send you the link, just so you get an idea of the eternal nature of you and the eternal that lives as you. Now, when are you going to link up to that? When are you going to accept that as the top thing, the only thing that you can have, that focus on and have the love for and the dedication to win? So now we're going to look at that other thing that God is. Among all branches of knowledge, I'm the wisdom of the self. And Yogananda comments and says, human knowledge. But before I go there, I just want to just say to yourself, I am an objectified dream image of God's consciousness. I am an objectified dream image of God's consciousness. That's all. Thank God we're in his consciousness. Thank God he is everything, right? Thank God. Thank God. So human knowledge, no matter how proliferate, will always be limited. So as long as you got a little, that's why little knowledge is a dangerous thing, because you get a little and you think you got a lot. But even a lot, even the proliferate, not knowledge person, will always be limited. Without the wisdom, without the wisdom. What is wisdom? Yogananda has in parentheses here, intuitive perception. And I might add, and what is intuitive perception? It is deep interiorization into the stillness and the silence of your eternal self, of your God beingness, right? Of that eternal presence that you are, the soul's eternal presence, God's eternal presence, whatever words you want to use. But it's deep dive, deep into the depths of silence. Here's another little gem that Yogananda gives to us, just so that we kind of feel that there is something so special about us, so special about us. And they had a picture of Larry Mahashai with this quote from Yogananda: from the depths of silence. From the depths of silence, Yogananda says, the geyser of God's bliss shoots up unfailingly. From the depths of silence, of this stillness, of this interiorization, the only place where we're ever going to have the intuitive perception, because the intuitive perception comes from the deep peace and stillness and absolute motionlessness of a deep, deep, deep dive interiorization. That's our fifth practice, really, right? But what happens then? A geyser of God's bliss shoots up unfailingly and flows over our entire being. The geyser of bliss shoots up and flows over our entire being from the inside out and outside in. Wow. So you see that it's no joke when you say that without the wisdom, and then the intuitive perception and the interiorization and this deep silence, we are just hanging out on the surface, on the crumbs, on the bubbles, oh, that popped, that little situation I just did. Oh, we're going to do this over the holidays. Oh, the bubble, another bubble. We're just on the surface. Deep divers, deep divers. There's a guy that uses that term a lot. He does videos. Deep divers, let's go deep. So no matter how proliferate our knowledge is, it will always be limited without the wisdom, parens, intuitive perception, close parens, of the soul. And what is the soul? The singular revealer of the creator. So the only way we're going to know creator is to know our soul. And our soul is our first step, right? It is just this soul eternal presence. It's God's eternal presence, right at the root chakra. God's eternal presence and the power to resist any other notion, any other idea. We're just dealing with ideas every day. Ideas. Oh, we got stuck beliefs. Yeah, they turn into crusty things. Like a psychological antique. Yogananda said, we got to be careful of our thoughts. But they're just ideas. The causal body of us is consciousness. In other words, consciousness are ideas of God. Just like we live in Him right now, in His consciousness as a truth idea, right? The idea of that we are eternal truth, eternal wisdom, eternal self. Without the inherent presence of God, though, Yogananda goes on to say, there would be no powers of cognition, reason, and disputation. Now he's going to talk about that debater, that even the debater has a discriminative logic, that God is in that discriminative logic if you're going to want to go there. And you're going to realize why we need to go there until we get the deeper dive going, okay? In logic and dialectics, he has given the potentiality to conceive. He has given us the potentiality to conceive. These are two good words: the fickleness and unreality of the cosmic dream. The fickleness and unreality of the cosmic dream. He has given us the potential to conceive that this outer world is fickle, unreal, is a dream, and we can, with that analytic, or with that dialectic or logic, we can infer with our faith and trust the reality of the cosmic dreamer. We can infer that. We have that ability. On man alone in all creation has God bestowed the power of abstract reasoning. Why do we need to have abstract reasoning? Because how else are you going to deal with all the time in between you getting wide awake and realized, right? We're going to need so much abstract reasoning that another way to say that is intuitive imagination, right? So we want to get really abstract when we look out in this world. Abstract in the sense that we're totally just, it's like an abstract painting, right? It's an abstract movie, or it just doesn't seem to kind of fit and make sense, right? And that's all this stuff going on. But our abstract is to say, yeah, of course, that's God's outer dream. That's his dream. That's his dream duality. Where now I'm going to go into that singular place, the only place that will reveal the eternal now loving presence to me. And that is my soul. So we can have a lot of abstract reason, except by the right exercise of reason. This is a good line. No man or woman under cosmic delusion would have ever come out from it. So we got to use every aspect of ourselves. And in this case, the abstract reasoning to say this world is fickle and it is unreal. Right? It's fickle and it's unreal. Hey, no, stay. Right? Happy? So we would never come out of this delusion without that exercise of reason or abstract reasoning, for we would not have known we were even in it, a delusion, without that abstract reasoning. So there's another aspect to God. Well, he's everything, all right? So that was verse 32. Look at that. How's everyone feeling? Are you still mastering the moments of love? Are you still just taking in this eternal loving presence, God's eternal presence into you with every inhale breath? Your soul breathing it into you, right at your root chakra, and you are just totally being filled up with your cosmic nature, free. This guy that had the near death, God showed him universes while he was up there in high altitudes anyway. And every particle was God love. Every person he saw had a golden light, but they didn't see it in themselves. But God's love was in every little detail of the universes that he saw, and every person, the same God love. Can you imagine? This is our holy season. This is our holy season, meaning from this moment to the end of your life is a holy season, my dears. Let's don't even look at that calendar. We realize that time is we're going to see that is one of the illusion of illusions, is this time thing, and that we think we have time. We don't. This and that can wait, Yogananda said, but our search for God, the search for feeling God's presence, the search for being that presence cannot wait. So verse 33. This is a trip. Among all letters, keep on loving there on the love line, babies. Hello, Brooke. Hello. So proud of all of you to have this higher self side more kicking in, and our lower nature, our thinking nature, all the rest of it, our human nature, is just kind of dropping by the wayside, because the other is there's no comparison between the two, our true nature versus this false nature. Come on. And I'm so proud of you that you're getting a handle on your higher self. Or let's say you're allowing your higher self to have a handle on you, right? Either way it works. But listen to this. Among all letters, I am the letter A. It makes sense. You'll hear in a minute how it makes sense, or will make sense of it. Of all compounds, and he's looking at compounds where you put words together, like sentences, maybe many different ideas, but it all makes sense. That's what it's meant by a compound. I am, that which can link things together to make sense. I am the Vandava, the connective element. Talk about connection. God is the ultimate connection. We're all interrelated as one. Can you imagine this dream delusion we're in? We're all totally interrelated. We're brothers and sisters. We're siblings. Isn't that something? Isn't this a beautiful holy season that begins for you, each of you today? because you just want this moment of love. That's it. You're putting your full attention on this moment of love coming in as the inhale breath of God's infinite love loving you, and you loving it back because your soul nature is kicking in and you are just getting out of the way now. Just get out of the way, man. It's too holy of a life. It's too holy of a season for the rest of our days. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's do it. So I am Devandava, or connective element. I am immutable time. There it is again. And I am the omnipresent creator. Well, we learned he's the creator, upholder, and the destroyer, or that which is the middle or the end. He's the beginning, middle, and the end. We've heard that. He's the Brahma creator, Vishnu preserver, and the Shiva destroyer, right? I'm the omnipresent creator, the all-pervading dispenser of destiny. He's the one that dispenses our destiny and whose face is turned on all sides. So we're going to look at that. All right? But just hang in there and just be busy with your love breath, because that's the essence of everything we're talking about. But this letter A is a trip. I'll read this from Yogananda's commentary. Letters are divided into vowels and consonants. Letters are divided into vowels and consonants. No consonant can be pronounced without the aid of a vowel. Did you know that? Did you have that knowledge? Eh? Oh, you pundits, you. No consonant can be pronounced without the aid of a vowel. The letter A in nearly all languages is the first among vowels. The letter A. In Sanskrit, it is also the component of every consonant, the letter A, which allows for the intonation of that letter, like ka, ta, ba, and so forth. Why is A so important? Because it's the first letter of the primordial symbol Aum, A-U-M, A, of ah. It's, when you chant Om, you got to kind of put the ah into it. Why is the letter A so profound? It is the most profound syllable we could ever pronounce because of the ah sound, the ka, ta, ba. In other words, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, Jesus, right? All the ahs that go with these God is an the ah. That's why we do the ah, E for ecstasy breath, right? So that powerful, when you chant Om, it's a ah. Start with the ah sound, my dears. Ah, 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 because it's the first letter of the primordial syllable Om, whose cosmic sound, what is the Om? The cosmic sound is the mother of all sounds and therefore of all languages. Om is the conglomerate sound of the creator, of the creative, preservative, and dissolving vibrations of nature. It's a conglomerate of those three aspects of God in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end, or the creator, preserver, and the dissolver, right? Imagine conglomerate sound. How powerful is that all? It's the word. It's the first word. It's your word. It's your word. That's why you got to be careful that you are humming. You are humming with God's creative consciousness within you. You are humming so that every word that comes out of your mouth is an intonation of that aum, of the first syllable, the most important syllable, because it started the manifestation. And it's also going to dissolve you so you can get out of the manifestation into your formless, infinite, cosmic, beautiful, formless self, right? So Om is the conglomerate sound of the creative, preservative, and dissolving vibrations of nature, represented respectfully by its letters. A, Akara must mean the creative. Akara, Akara. U, A-U-M is Om, how it's spelled, A-U-M. So the A is Akara for the creating, or creation. U, Yukara, for the preservation. And Makara, he was the shark last week, wasn't he? Makara? Am I correct on that? Yeah, Makara. He was the dissolver, man. Oh, that shark bites with his teeth, dear. Ah, Scarlet Billow, whatever the words were. Oh, my dad's favorite song. So it is the A, Akara, for the creation. It is Ukara, for the preservation, and for the dissolution, it's Makara. It is thus the word of God that was with God from the beginning. His symbol in creation, the Aum, the Aum. The Lord in this Gita verse declares himself preeminently in the letter A, creation. The letter A, for creation. For he is the origin, the infinite source of beings, the power that sends forth the modes of nature. You know what a beautiful word is too? Ah, le, lu, ya. Ah, le, lu, ya, right? And we have the three A's, absolute access to the absolute, three A's right there. But you think of the word ah, or or yeah, the A that we use so much in our vocabulary as well. So I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty, the Almighty, the A of Almighty. The Hindu scriptures deal at length with the importance of chanting the sacred word ah, and of listening in deep meditation to the actual sound. Can you imagine the conglomerate sound of creation, preservation, and dissolution? What that, the conglomerate sound of all sounds is going to be like? Huh? You know what I'm saying? All it does is just merge you with the omnipresence and omnipotence of you and omniscience of you. That's what it does, because it's just this omnipresent sound and experience, quite frankly. The importance of chanting the word Om and of listening in deep meditation to the actual sound of this holy vibration declaring God's presence in creation. Just keep being present to this present moment of love, my dears. Love coming in, God's eternal presence coming in, your soul's eternal presence. Now you're telling me that you don't have time to send, you send love to your kids, you send love, whatever, but it's got to now come from a place of your soul. It's got to come from the place of your deepest longing. The true self of yours can generate such massive love that you can now bring it in and love this being of you, which is totally God presence. Love your whole being. Love your whole being. Or we can go into the cosmic womb of the mother, you know. I live in the cosmic womb of the mother. I live in the cosmic womb of the mother. I relax, I surrender as she loves me. I relax, I surrender as she loves me with the unconditional love of the mother, with her unconditional love, with the unconditional love of the mother, with her unconditional unconditional love. Oh, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me more. She loves me, she loves me, she loves me more. Just float, just float. That's the beginning of our second step where we just float in the cosmic womb of the mother. As she loves me, she loves me, she loves me more with her unconditional love. With her unconditional love. That's it. And you know, Yogananda had a beautiful song. He says, my life is for the Lord who is untouched by desires of his world. He whose enchanting image is beyond compare, and who is joy personified, who is joy personified. Wonderful light of this universe and the life beyond. The life of my life is you. The life of my life is you. Then he's talking all about the creator, right? Then he goes, oh, what lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. Oh, what lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Because she is the mother of creation. So he starts that song with the father who is still, disengaged from it. He's, he has no attachment to the desires of his world. But the mother, she's hugging us here. That's why we float in her womb. She loves me, she loves me, she loves me more. And this is where we learn to receive love. How are you doing with receiving love these days, my dears? Do you have time? Do you have time for love? Do you have time for a moment of breath of love? Even though you don't feel the love, you're thinking about something else. You're still thinking that you got the to-do list to do. You're still in this later thing, which is a lie. I hope to get to time real quick here. But I don't know if I'm going to get to it. Yeah, right? So you're getting a point that I'm saying, make time for love. You have only this moment that's real. No past, no future, no next thing. Just this moment. Make hay while you have a moment and you remember, oh my God, this is a God moment. I'm going to be a master of this moment of love right here, right now. And right? And start to hoard and collect these moments that you have with God in 1 hour, in one day. Just start collecting them. Your life is going to shift as of today. I kind of started by saying things like that this morning, didn't I? That this is going to be a holy season for you from this moment into eternity. Because you're going to be loving this, the Holy Infinite Spirit, as omnipresent God presence, or spirit presence, or soul presence, or divine mother's presence. It's all hooked in together. It's all linked together. Let's see where we're going. So God is the origin, the infinite source of being, the power that sends forth the modes of nature, Alpha and Omega, and the Almighty. And then the chanting of Om is what the Hindus advise us all to do, and to listen for that sound as well. In Sanskrit grammar, Devandava refers to compounds of words. Devandava. That's when he said, I am the compounds. Devandava is the Sanskrit word that refers to the compounds of words, aggregate compounds in which the words, though conjoined, do not change their character and construction or meaning. So you have all these words, but they don't change their construction or meaning. The concomitant analogy of God's manifestation as a Devandava is that his consciousness is the copulative element. That means that the words and the clauses all hook up with a sense of its meaning. Okay. His consciousness is the copulative element that holds together in intelligent play and interplay all beings and objects. Can you even interlink and be aware of one day of your life and feel that you're holding together in intelligent play and interplay all the details of your day, of all the beings and objects and conversations that you had? And God is doing this on a cosmic, beyond cosmic level. Wow. Cosmic delusion in the ordinary man and woman suppresses his perception of the ubiquitous infinite. We see as a human only the cosmic dream without the presence of the cosmic dreamer. But we won't even admit this is a dream. This is life. This is real. Right? The yogi, however, beholds the cosmic dreamer and his cosmic dream as one. So the source and the manifestation as one, all linked together, in harmony, I might add. By rising above the mortal state, the yogi and yogini sees God as the conjoining power, the Devandava. That's what Devandava means, the conjoining power among all compounds in the cosmic dream, all the different objects and beings and everything, about all the compounds, all of it in the cosmic dream, conjoins them. He perceives God. The yogi understands this. The yogi perceives God's subjective consciousness and his objective dreams as held together by his conjoining cognitive dream consciousness. As a man requires self-awareness to be conscious of himself and his dreams. So if you dream at night, you're the one that's experiencing all of it, right? As it requires self-awareness, you are aware to remember your dream, to be conscious of himself and of his dreams. So God cognizes his cosmic dreams through his ever-conscious self-awareness. I want to just remind you how important self-awareness is, my dears. That eternal self, the soul self-awareness. So important. It's so important. God has a self-awareness, the essential faculty by which his dreamless being and his cosmic dreams exist together. His infinite, formless, unmanifested side and this manifested side, which is a total dream duality delusion, right? He has it joined together in complete harmony. Could you have your worst morning ever and the best afternoon ever and conjoin it together in complete harmony? Huh? Can you just feel like this whole thing is that you are just 100% God presence, and he's doing all of it through you, and that will come, that union can only, that soul union, what did he say back here? That singular revealer of the creator is your soul, that the soul, the singular revealer of God's presence, the singular, the only thing that will reveal God's presence is our soul. So now we're going to have to really help wake up that soul by just directing all of everything that we have humanly possible, but upgrade it, spiritualize it, and send it back in to ourself, our eternal self, our soul. Oh man, try it out. Try it out this holy season. When you get good at that, all of a sudden you're going to be doing that to other people while you're in the presence of them and they're talking about something, whatever, and you're just seeing them as this, you're just massively radiating love into them because you know that you're sending it right into that eternal self of God in them, that side of you that is the eternal self, because you're interlinked, you're conjoined, you're linked together. We are linked together here, my dears, completely linked together. So So he has a dreamless being God and a cosmic dreams, but they exist together in complete harmony. This is now, if anyone remembers that skinny model named Twiggy, as one twig. I read that and I went right to Twiggy. As one twig may support two flowers. So you have your family and all your duties and all this on one flower on your twig, and then you have this God passion, urgency as the other flower, and they're in complete harmony. As one twig may support two flowers, so the stem of self awareness, the stem of your self awareness as an immortal being, and at the same time, whatever character bit part you're playing as a father, as a manager, as a sports star, as a singer, right? As just a person, you have them, the God flower, and whatever it is you're doing outwardly in this world holds together the unifying Dandava or God's cognitive power. So you have as one twig may support two flowers, so the stem is self-awareness. The unifying Devandava or God's cognitive power holds together the blossom of his absolute nature and the blossom of his diversified cosmic tree. Twiggy. One twig, two blossoms. Okay. Wow. But I just want to just start this part about God is immutable time. That was one of the aspects we were going to look at. We looked at it a few weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And we looked at that, and it was like God has no respecter of history, that this is man-made, made up completely. The calendar, Gregorian calendar, made up. Time as we see it, made up. Just a human thing. God is immutable time. What is immutable time? It's the eternal consciousness. It's the eternal consciousness. Dang, what a nice day this is to be sharing with you such wisdom food and having the intuitive perception and the interiorization and our new commitment to just this present moment of love, to master just this moment of love. Oh, best day of our lives. I must admit, best day of our lives. God is immutable, the eternal consciousness. In the Arthava Veda, God is personified as time and hailed as the Father, creator of all the worlds, and also as their Son, their existence. Time, Kala, is the word for time in Sanskrit, K-A-L-A. 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 Ah, Kala, another ah sound. Time is the idea of change. It's a good definition, y'all. Time is the idea of change in the eternal, immutable, or the eternal consciousness. Immutable meaning unchanging. It's the idea of change. Idea again. Here it is. All ideas. It's just all ideas that are coming into your head. You think they're thoughts. You don't even think of them as thought. You just think. But they're just God's pouring in these thought forms, right? Or you could say they're just ideas. He's just offering you ideas. Would you find an idea that makes you the happiest, please? Would you find an idea that gives you the most love? Would you hold on tenaciously to the idea that gives you a deeper passion for just one thing, one goal, and that is this present moment of love? And then become a collector of all your moments of love today and have more moments of love today than any other day, could you? How about that idea? How about that idea? Can you find some ideas that can make this holy season different, even with the family? I sent this video to the Clarks. I thought maybe it'd be a good idea, that one I saw, the near death, because it's so cosmic, it's so universal. The guy talks about how he turned to yoga at the end, and he mentioned Kriya yoga and all this kind of stuff. He says, because the way out is, he said, there is no way out except for the way in. It was beautiful. Beautiful, done. Make a great conversation piece. Anything is better than just the usual gibberish, man, right? That doesn't awaken you to a higher truth, to a higher reality. So see what you all can do. Muster it up. Muster something up. Be creative. Don't just be the exactly how you were last Christmas and do the same things every single time, because you have infinite idea potential. All right? Creative ideas. You are Rama creator. You are Vishnu preserver. And you are the destroyer of all those things that no longer serve you, that does not lift your consciousness to this place of constancy and love and constancy of connection with the beloved. So I just wanted to end this by saying the idea of change and the eternal immutable, that time is the idea of change and the eternal immutable. A gossamer illusion. So a gossamer, I think, is just this wispy thing. You don't even know what it is. A gossamer illusion, so really a hardcore illusion, a gossamer illusion in which all illusions dance. Time. All right. So finally, we'll end with this. So we in stanza 30, was stanza 30 of this chapter, we referred man's conception of time imposed on him by nature as one of its illusory measurers. This present verse refers to God's everlasting consciousness, the soul time, one time. It's ever present, omnipresent, eternal now, loving presence. It's just now. God's everlasting consciousness is the sole time, the only time to consider God's everlasting consciousness, is everlasting presence with you. As you, it's yourself. It's your soul. Wow. Closer than breath and heartbeat, hands and feet. The soul time, which is the eternal receptacle of all his ever-changing illusory dreams of creation. Wow, could you be an eternal receptacle of all the thoughts that go through your brain today? All the forgetfulness that goes through, still getting caught up in the do's, still thinking about later, still thinking about pleasing others, or whatever it is that you do, whatever the reasons, I don't care. But could you just be that timeless self? That's just the love itself, because you're going to unionize with love with all your love practices in each breath, each moment, right? As God is the eternal receptacle of all his ever changing, illusory dreams of creation, he just contains it. He's the eternal receptacle of it, meaning that no matter what you dream today, what you do, what you think is real, the goods, the bads, the uglies today, he or your soul, God in you, is a receptacle of it. Can be just that receptacle? Can you just be, another way to say it, just in Divine Mother's womb? As she loves me, she loves me, she loves me more, right? With her unconditional love, the unconditional love of the mother, just floating in her womb until you get a little pang, a little spark of oh my God, I think I felt something so different. I've never felt such love before. Okay? I think you're going to have the best Christmas ever, my dears. We'll pick this up next Tuesday, which is the day after Christmas, and I'm going to hold the space as you're going to hold, because we can now be the holders. We can be the make all the things connect in beautiful harmony because of this soul that we are, and this gift of amazing grace that God and Divine Mother give to us, and the grace of each other's presence. And as you are, I am, and as you are, I am. All right. Okay. Ah, sigh it out. Breathe in the love, immeasurable love, intoxicating love, and exhale. Give your love to the love. Do it again. Give your love to the love. And one more. Give your love to the love. All right, you at home, if you want to, let's chant an Om or two in closing. The beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Start with the ah sound. Ah. Ah. And a beautiful amen. Look at how that starts. Amen. Oh, my dears, what an amazing day to be awake and ready. Massive love and light to our world and to you and yours and the lineages of all of our families. All right? Everybody's going to feel the love because they are the love. To those with oodles of that massive love.